You ready? No debate, cause it's all. I'm too official, got the drip, I got the sauce. Bring the proof when it's time to tell the truth. I'll be at the corner booth, find me in the corner booth, yeah. Still standing and defiant. Slay the competition, cause I'm walking like a giant. Bring the proof when it's time to tell the truth. I'll be at the corner booth, find me in the corner booth, corner booth.
I see as well. Kate, I feel like I have not officially said this. I've tiptoed around it. Kate, will you marry me?
Do I have to answer now? Or
no, you have time. You can think about it. You can think about a way to say no without hurting my feelings if you want.
Oh
lovely. I'll send you a letter.
Just don't even.
Right, cool. Thank you. I'll send you my address later so you can send it to my house.
Yeah, I'm never giving you my address. I don't want you getting that close.
Oh, I know.
That never gets fucking old. I love it. If you know somebody's on the show for the first time, they literally they lose it every time they hear that shit. I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Thursday. We've made it. It's almost the weekend. It's happy hour. I got a cigar. It's a Korner Booth pregame. I'm actually missing a chain. I think it's in my bag somewhere. We have a special guest. We finally got one of them on the actual show. I had to substitute that craft brew debacle I hosted a month ago to get his co-hosts Anthony Rook and TJ on. Ladies and gentlemen, from the Scoreboard Axe podcast, one of the funniest dudes I've ever met in a podcast introduction meeting, Nick, a.k.a. Jabberjaw. Nick, welcome in, buddy.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm just going to give myself a little round of applause.
Listen, I'm okay with it, honestly. Most guests don't come prepared with a soundboard. So there you go. And also, boys and girls, you know how we roll here on Thursdays, as always.
I'm a firm believer in act professional, you'll be professional.
Fair enough. So we're fucked then, Matt.
I know what you're talking about. You got the whole setup. You got a dartboard behind you. Depends on what you want to be professional at.
Oh, listen, I'm a professional asshole. We've already established this, but I will say, I do enjoy the summer shows because it's 88 degrees. I am probably going to start sweating soon, but it's totally worth it for the cigar aesthetic and the fact that the acoustics in my backyard for recording are fucking amazing.
You sound
great.
great.
Then you get your dad that grills every now and then, hands you a piece of chicken on it.
That was fucking hysterical last weekend.
Yeah, we'll be filming. All of a sudden, he looks up into the distance. His hand starts going out, and he starts eating a rib. And he's like, "Yeah, my dad just grilled a fresh set of ribs." As around.
I'm pretty sure I saw Dan Soder do that on a Sirius XM channel. So, but he did it with steak. So, talk about being professional. You're right there, buddy.
Perfect timing. Perfect timing.
I almost couldn't just keep track of everything that was coming in these last 3 or 4 days, just news-wise. I would go volleyball on Tuesdays like usual, look at my phone after every game, and I got 7 MLB notifications of 6 different trades. It was just an insane week, I feel like, with the news.
That's what we talked about because, Matt, me and you agree because it was one of your last volleyball things this week. So I was like, we're not going to do a show Tuesday. Fuck that shit. I'm not going to try to go out of my way to do one Monday or Wednesday. So fuck it. We'll just save everything for Thursday. Then it turns into a whole nother craziness to it. Apparently I'm on the clock in our belly up Alex's Limited Fantasy League. Apparently I'm getting yelled at. Oh, I'm sorry, I have to fucking work up 2 jobs, motherfucker. Jesus. Oh my god. Coop. It's not even just Coop. No, there's one dude who literally it says Ryan Hicks has tagged you. I'm like, dude, I am sleeping. Leave me alone. Oh my god, yeah, no, but it was crazy. I said, usually when we try to push and wait for more fun things, I just grab Chuba Hubbard because $50. Christian McCaffrey's gonna have a season-ending injury. So,
oh yeah, Chuba Hubbard and Tony Pollard are those 2 handcuffs you have to take.
Also, I grabbed the kid out of Atlanta, who's Patterson's running mate, Algiers.
Mm-hmm. That's a good pickup too. I mean,
your quarterback has he's barely functional. TSS, will you stop? You're a Dolphins fan. Respect yourself first before you go at me. Fucking South Beach guys. You're second. Man, fuck you, Jason. I'm sorry I can bench over 100 pounds, man. Your ass always wearing those freaking Florida man tank tops.
Florida man out. You know what? One up on that one. Point Jared.
Somebody
like
asked
wilding out.
me and grabbed Jason once, and I literally said, "Imagine a Florida man mixed with a Marine." That's Jason.
Yeah.
They're like, "Jesus Christ!" I'm like,
So what you're
yeah,
telling me is, Coop from TSS Fantasy, that when you go into Google and you type in Florida man and put your birthday, that's him.
yes.
Oh, okay, right on. I can see it.
It should be. It should be. The other thing is, right. So with Coop, it's so funny. His introductory press conference to his introductory message to me had 55 curses in it. It was 3 paragraphs long. I was so blown away by the fact that the balls in this dude that cursed to me and Mike over an introductory message. I was like, yo,
Was it written in crayon?
What?
Was it written in crayon?
I know they eat those. It was written in pen.
Their show is their show is our show just 15 years later, right?
Yeah, no, and also it stands for Total Shit Show, which I didn't find out until I had LeDuc on for the 15th fucking time. But the best
I
part
just
is
found out just now.
yeah, exactly. Here's the best part, though. I laugh at this because it's a 3-ring circus. It's not a podcast. It's a 3-ring fucking the cast of characters he's roped in. He is a genius. I will give him that. Jason Cooper is a genius, but he's also a fucking nut job, and I love it.
Well, listen, most of us are degenerates anyhow. But we were on their show. The 3 of us were on their show with the 3 of them. And we looked around and we were like, holy fuck, we are like fucking Bizarro you. Were you 10 years ago? Jason's the white guy with the beard. He had a backwards hat on. TJ, white guy with a beard, backwards hat on. I'm the bald Spanish guy. And Fred's there, bald Spanish guy. It was the weirdest,
Freddie.
It was Spider-Man,
It's
What?
It's like that Seinfeld episode. It's like
I swear, man.
I love Freddie, man. He's funny as shit, but I have never heard dumber college football takes out of a man than him.
Oof.
And I was like, dude, I thought he's a smart guy in fantasy because I follow him on Twitter. But, dude, he had a couple takes. Me and my former co-host and good buddy of mine, Kevin, were like, is he serious? What did he say? I was just blown away. But speaking of Cooper actually brought up some interesting points in our Belly Up chat, obviously, about the whole because his wife being a lawyer, obviously, and he posted on their Twitter about the whole Deshaun Watson thing. And then we had shout out to Haley Murphy, one of the resident lawyers here at Belly Up. She was on a craft brew yesterday, and she brought up more. And the whole Deshaun Watson thing, we'll get it started first. It's strange. First off, the breaking news is it wasn't really surprising, as the NFL is going to contest and try to appeal the suspension. They want a full year. They don't care what Robinson says. That was their goal from the get-go. But what cracks me up about this whole shindig is that with the whole Watson case, everything just felt weird from the start to the finish. I heard something today that basically the whole thing looked like there was some of it felt like it almost had a little money grab feel to it, but at the same time was like, okay, there's no fucking way there's 30 something fucking cases or 20 something with 66 occurrences, only 24 are suing. There's smoke, there's fire, there's something that happened. But the fact of the matter is that the fact that there's a relation between the lawyer who ran the lawsuit and the Texans owner, and the NDA is run by the Texans, it feels so odd to me. If I'm Sue Robinson, I don't blame her for throwing just 6 games for the status quo. If I'm the NFL, y'all fucked up. Your investigation was dog shit, clearly, because the fact that this woman only threw 6 games at this motherfucker, who in some people's eyes is a fucking predator. I think nothing in this whole case was handled correctly by anybody, and that's why we're at where we're at today. That's my opinion.
So I read what she had to say, and I really did like what she had to say, because she said basically based on precedent, right? Because that's what most law is based on, is precedent.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's a first time thing that never happened before, then they're going to set the precedent. I'll give an example. Joe Jackson and his 7 buddies getting caught cheating in the World Series, betting on the game, that had never really happened on that scale before. So when MLB banned them all for life, that set the tone for everybody else, to include Pete Rose, who is also banned for life because he got caught doing the same thing. which was betting on sports, betting on baseball.
Mhm.
In this instance, she said that the NFL does not care and is an immoral organization. They don't care that he sexually assaulted anybody, just like, and she used Ray Rice specifically. She said Ray Rice was a 2-game suspension until there was public outcry because the public saw the video. And then you wanted to suspend him forever. And you can't do that. You can't sit there and say that now people know what he did and now it's worse. It was never, it's either bad right now or it's not bad right now. And you can't change your mind later just because people decided that what you decided was immoral and wrong. So she was like, I can only give him 6 games because Ben Roethlisberger only got 6 games. And he sexually assaulted 2 women.
Oh yeah. Jason wants to come on, and I feel like I'm either going to love this or hate it, depending on if Parker's watching or not.
I want you to know that I had to thank TJ for letting us on his show for 40 minutes yesterday. If Jason comes on, it's probably the same deal.
Listen, you know what's so funny, right? Is that this issue with Watson, it doesn't matter what side of the aisle politically you're on or what moral you lean. It's the fact of the matter is that all we know is that the NFL has done a shit job of taking care of anybody when it comes to their players hurting them. Dante Stallworth got a year was 30 days in jail and did a year suspension for basically turning a guy into a shish kebab with his car. So when he was hammered, like Tom Brady got 4 games for allegedly deflating footballs. Calvin really got a year for gambling in a game he wasn't even playing in because he was injured. There's so many fucking things wrong with all this, and it just cracks me up. And
Well,
Jason,
also,
I got for you.
Don't forget, you also have Josh Gordon that was suspended for a year or so because of
78 total
marijuana.
fucking games.
For Josh Gordon, or
Yeah.
yeah,
Josh
for
Gordon
marijuana
had
that's now
78 total
not
fucking
being
games.
tested by the league. Who he's still not in the league, and then you've also got, like you said, now you got Deshaun Watson, who's allegedly has all these 30+ cases against him right now, but he's only getting 6 games. You got a guy that just smoked a joint or 2 every now and then. Anyways, he's been in the league for like 80 games.
I mean, if you read the stories about him and Baylor, he wasn't just smoking joints, but like what he got to the NFL, he kind of dude. Those stories about Gordon were crazy.
The killer for me with those comparisons, and I'm not sitting here trying to say that Deshaun Watson 6 is good enough or that he deserves anything at all. It's not my place to say. But what I will say is the CBA, like we all have jobs, right? I work for an organization, right? Says I can't smoke weed. And I get tested for tens of thousands of dollars. Okay. And for tens of thousands of dollars, so I can still sit in this office and talk to you guys and not have to worry about my power getting turned off, I don't do drugs because it's worth it to me for tens of thousands of dollars. Now, these guys are offered millions upon millions of dollars to just not do drugs for 10 years. Because you really only got to do 10 years in the NFL and you're set for life.
Yeah.
And they can't do it. I have zero sympathy. It's not like they told you. And again, that's what the judge brought that up. She was like, you can't tell the guy now after that you're already upset with him. Now we're going to set the precedent about you getting suspended after everybody else that got suspended only got suspended for 6 games. You can't be like, oh, now you're getting suspended for life because nobody else ever got that. So all these guys like Josh Gordon, he knew what the ramifications of what he was doing was going to get him. It's not like he joined the NFL and then he was the first dude to get caught smoking weed and they were like, oh, you're banned for life. No, he got caught multiple times. And honestly, for me, you're an idiot. Millions of dollars. If I love steak, I got a porterhouse waiting for me downstairs right now. If you told me I'll give you $50 million over the next 10 years, if you don't eat steak for the next 10 years, I'm eating chicken. That's it. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. It's the stupidest shit in the world. Like, get it together.
I will say this: the NFL, on moral grounds, should never push against the lack of usage of marijuana, only because of their lifelong partnership with pushing anything possible that's a painkiller from big pharma instead of utilizing something that's natural and actually has pain. I'm not going to lie. I have smoked lots of green in my day. Here's the thing: I smoked it for anxiety. I've smoked it for, or not even anxiety because I've never been diagnosed. But if I've ever had I need to take a breather, I need to calm down, I'll take a hit. Or hey, want to relax a little bit. Or hey, listen, I had a couple bad workouts during college, and I was beat up, and I was also playing in a club league for a bunch of sports, and I was really feeling it. A little green here and there definitely helped more than painkillers did. So what am I going to tell you? Like my mother, when she has a really bad issue with her leg and back. She did painkillers for a week and a half when she was stuck on vacation on the island Martha's Vineyard. Second she came back, she used to like give me an edible or something else. I am not touching this shit. There's a reason they're addictive, and it's opioids the number one problem in America for deaths of people in the age of 30. My whole thing is that's a whole moral ground. We go back to this thing with Watson. It's on the NFL. Okay, it's not on the Texans. It's not on it's on Deshaun Watson, obviously. It's not on Judge Sue Robinson. And if, like, she literally just said, like Nick said perfectly, based on what the NFL has done in their shitty way of handling anything public, this is what the thing is. And you have to follow precedent. That's what laws are. That's what most legal rulings are, because they're based off of, like, cases. Like, I don't know, the one that we just got overturned by the Supreme Court 6 months ago that I vowed never to bring up on this show because it has the last name of an NFL coach in it. It rhymes with Dade, and I'm not going to say it because I'm not an idiot and I don't want to feel like starting up a freaking hailstorm on that comment because that's still a very, very, very like hot topic issue right now. So what I will say is that with this whole thing is Jason Cooper's about to join us, suited up and ready to rock and roll. Look at this guy, so dapper. I'm looking like a Florida man. He's looking like a Wall Street man now, or at least South Beach instead of Orlando. So I will finish on this. The fact that people are getting pissed at Robinson, it's like, oh, she's a woman. It's like, she's also a judge. It doesn't matter what fucking gender you are. You will have a responsibility to the law to make a proper ruling. That's what being a lawyer or a judge or even a jury, you take the emotion out of it. You have to make the correct ruling. And with that in mind, joining us now, host of the Total Shit Show Fantasy Show, TSS Fantasy, probably the best fantasy show you could ever find for entertainment purposes and for news, honestly. I watched their shit last year, helped me get to the playoffs, saved my season. Ladies and gentlemen, a good friend of mine, a former Marine, and definitely a Florida man, Mr. Jason Cooper. What's up, Commish?
What is up, gentlemen? Thank you so much for having me. It is a great day to be in. And listen, I'm a little hungry. And like we said, it's the table for four, and I went to Korner Booth tonight. Listen, I was eating my dinner, listening to you guys, and I really got to get in on this conversation. You can tell because I got my Kool-Aid stained lips on right now. The bottom line is, and listen, we've been covering this particular issue since way back when, and we were accessing things and looking into the evidence that we were able to get into and look at. I mean, we were pulling the text messages, reading them, everything. And I'm just telling you guys, first I want to make this statement, and everyone can say whatever the hell they want. I don't care. I'm just going to be real. That's who I am. Men have been using their influence to get laid since way back when. All right. So I don't want to hear this bullshit no more. I'm over it. Period. Listen, and not even just way back when. How about right now? Let's go down to Wall Street, and I guarantee at some bar there's some rich lawyer, and we don't even need to go to Wall Street and go to downtown Orlando. There's somebody who's some rich person who is at a bar right now using their money and their influence to just get laid, period. So what are we talking about here? We're talking about a guy, if you read the text messages from Get, the guy says could not be more professional. Literally is talking to these females, and they're asking him, what areas do you need? He said, I have trouble areas. They ask him what. The guy literally says the adductor longus muscle. He is getting so specific. He's not saying around my bowels, around my groin. The man says the exact muscle group and says, do you have a problem with that? Are you comfortable with that? And they're like, yeah. And then at that point, you can see where there's a little flirtatious going on, and it's not on his end. So it's like, okay. And I am just so tired of hearing people in general. It's just like this mob that's like, oh, well, this, that, and the other thing. Listen, man, you have never walked in these athlete shoes. You don't know how it is. I literally don't I hate to make this statement. Everyone's going to hate me for it. But, when Tiger Woods, when all that stuff came out, Tiger Woods, I was so sick of hearing about it. So what? You know what I mean? We don't know. If we walk into Publix and we have women like just falling at our feet, like, I'm sorry, I don't got it like that. But if I did, I'd probably have AIDS, bro. I don't know. I'd probably dick down everything that came my way. I have no idea, period. Luckily, wifey can't hear me. But that's straight up. Like, I'm just being real with you guys.
She's Birds fan. She might cut it off.
She is.
I really wish we just saw a shoe come out of nowhere, just crack him right in the side of the head,
right to the dome.
No, but in all seriousness, just making the bold statements out there. But and again, going back to the original part of this, the guy, yes, there was some, there was, he wants to wear a little towel, whatever. The girls that he has been talking to, the massage therapists, also, if you look at their Instagram pages, are not out there putting out the most professional pictures out there. They're like, very seductive. You know what this is about, bro. Like, this is like this. And again, my wife had brought up a few times on our show, because you had brought it up, since there were so many people where there's smoke, there's fire. That's bullshit too, because when it's the same lawyer, like, you guys see this shit all the time. You guys see it on the TV where they're like, hey, have you been affected by so-and-so? Call now. We have a lawsuit going on. That's what the fuck these guys do. They start getting on, and he starts, oh, you have a complaint? Let's check with this person. Let's go. Oh, did you have the situation with Deshaun? Oh, well, let's go to this person. So I'm sure there was a little bit of, I'm not going to sit here and say Deshaun was completely innocent, but at the same time, the man has not played football in one whole year. And we're talking about another one for consensual sex.
But Coop, that's on him that he didn't play last year.
That's not on him, actually.
That's on him. He didn't want to play for them, and he said, I'm not going to play for them.
Let me ask you a question. All right, let me ask you this. If your company, I guess, it's kind of hard to equate all these things, but let's say you work for a company, right? And, let's just say they question, like, you get questioned by, whatever, about your character outside of work. People are questioning your character. The people who are supposed to have your back and, are basically like, yeah, we're washing your hands. I don't know. That's the Texans turn their back on him too. That's what initiated his reaction to be like, fuck you. So Coop, you're a Marine. I'm a soldier. Mm-hmm. I think we can both agree the United States government and our departments, Department of the Army, Department of the Navy, have crapped on us for the durations of our career. Yes, indeed.
Okay. But I never quit on my soldiers who work under me, ever. No matter how bad I had a captain or a lieutenant or a colonel, I never quit on the guys that worked under or with me, ever. And while the Texans organization may have quit on Deshaun Watson, you can't sit there and point at those wide receivers, at those tight ends, at those offensive linemen, at those running backs, those linebackers, and those defensive linemen and kickers and punters and everybody else to go, oh, they quit on him too. They needed him. Okay, they really did.
Fair. That's fair.
And he quit on them.
That point is completely fair. I mean, I didn't even, be honest with you, I wasn't even thinking of that aspect of it. So thank you for bringing that up to me.
I mean, it's a team. The front office is a business, but the team is a team.
No, I agree. So now, as you put it in that perspective, of course, I'm like, I can, it just even being on a team, just taking the military part out of it, just being on a team in general, you're counting on your bro, and here the best player, in fact, and now he's like, yeah. But again, the players also, from what I read, also understood his plight, understood what he was going through, because again, to him, it was such an insult that this organization turned their backs to him. That's why he was like, he turned it back to them, I guess. And that's what caused this whole little game, if you will, or whatever. Because again, something that we're not talking about, that they're not innocent in this either at all. Obviously, like, they were obviously going out and trying to find, I guess, massage therapists for him. Either way. But again, I think my biggest thing is just this big outcry. I'm just so tired of hearing it. Where was all this energy with Robert Kraft? Where was this energy? Like, that went away in like 2 seconds.
We all thought we all made jokes about Robert Kraft when this thing broke. We thought it was hysterical.
Listen, I'm a Jets fan. I was hoping they were going to suspend him for life.
But of course, yeah, of course. But seriously though, like, think about the difference though, and I'm not trying to make it racial at all, but because I hate going there. But I mean, when you think about this, like, where was all this big, Robert Kraft? Well, let's talk, because I guarantee, Mr. Kraft, that's not the first time. I guarantee it. And so if Better Call Saul starts calling around all these other massage therapists Robert Kraft was talking to, I'm sure we would have lots of fun stories to talk about that too. So
I do have two
crazy.
things I want to bring up, Jason, and two things because you and your wife obviously have better access to this stuff than us schmucks do. The one thing I did hear a couple of things about this is one that the Texans with the NDAs, the second everything when he said, "Oh yeah, I'm done with y'all," they pulled everything. They said, "Oh, you're on your own." I heard rumors about that. The same thing as well as the Texans owner, Bob McNair, who we know is one of the worst owners in sports. Bob McNair is a fucking clown. He makes Stephen Ross look like a dream child. So here's the thing, right? And I heard this, and I don't know if this is true. He has connections to the lawyer who's in charge of the lawsuit. So this, I said this before you came on. Everything feels so weird about this case. And I don't want to say that because, if those girls really did go through rough stuff, I don't ever want to say that because I think in perspective, like if that was like my sister or my sister-in-law, cousins, whatever, I would feel fucking mortified. But at the same time, it's like the way everything goes, everything around this felt murky, foggy, and sketchy. And that's what always gave me an odd feeling about it. That's why we didn't talk about this at all until this happened. Because me and Matt and Samir, when he was here, and JD and Kevin, we all were like, all right, we're going to pump the brakes on this because we don't want to say the wrong thing until we know what the fuck happened.
No, you're totally right. And that's why I've had such a strong opinion about it, I guess, because I really had her dive into it. So, I'm my brain capacity only goes so far. So that's why I'm like, hey, babe, can you look into this and tell me if I'm seeing something, if I'm not seeing something that's right here. So, like I said, she went in, she logged into something. I don't know what she logged into it. She found some.
Oh, it's a legal database. A buddy of mine was a lawyer.
Yeah, or something. Yeah, I don't know what she logged in. She was able to grab some stuff. So, yeah, so we're pulling on. This is dating back to last summer. So we've been really reading about this like forever. And I'm just, like I said, and again, I'm not there and I don't know. But from all the accounts that I read, like I said, I'm just looking at it from, again, taking Nick's that perspective out of it, but just him as a player and the way that the franchise treated him and just him. Look, I'm an NFL fan at the end of the day. I don't want Deshaun Watson not playing for a whole other year again. Like, this is dumb. And listen, I got three. I'm sorry, I got 4 kids, but 3 girls. So I get it. I don't want to be, I understand your position. I don't want to be the person, but listen, we also, at the end of the day, people have opinions, and it should be okay to express them without people being like, oh my God, you hate women. It's like, come on, bro. I'm just telling you. And not only do I have an opinion, it's actually an educated opinion because I have facts to back it up. This is why I feel this way, because I've read these things. I've read all this, and this is why I have this opinion. And I'm just, like I said, from the overall facts of the case, and you're looking at it as a whole in a totality. Again, when I brought up before, this is not uncommonplace where a bunch of people jump in on a lawsuit. So yeah, maybe there is some smoke, as you said earlier, somewhere, maybe. But at the end of the day, if you look at the evidence that I saw, maybe we didn't get all of it, but everything I was presented, it literally just smells like a money grab because he is very professional at first in all of his conversations, and it's just literally telling them where they need to rub. And that's literally it until they, like I said, it gets a little flirty sometimes. But other than that, I mean, listen, we're all human beings. He's single as far as I understand. So, hey, you know what I mean? If somebody's going to, flirt, then we're going to flirt back, right? We're all men.
Yeah. That one. Thank you for coming on. 2, hitting a home run with the guest spot and the facts and everything else. I did not expect this when you said, "Hey, I want to come on and comment." I didn't know what the hell you were going to come at me with today. So, especially with the bra comment, fuck you, Jason.
Yeah, but hey, listen, when you stretch back a little, I was like, "Damn, I didn't know Jared had titties like that." I mean,
Pecs, man, pecs.
I'm kind of with Jared on it. At first, when it first broke, I sincerely was like, Texans are setting him up. Mm-hmm. Then it was like 6 more people. I was like, maybe the Texans aren't setting him up. And It's gotten to the point where it's what 24, 25 women. I'm sorry, one of them's got to be telling the truth.
But what are they telling the truth about, though? That's my thing. Is if you look at the whole totality part of it,
we don't have
right.
Right.
We just know a generic sweep of everything's testimony. Haven't seen. I mean, maybe you and your wife have seen. Obviously, Sarah, your wife, by the way.
No, but even in the court cases, they haven't gotten individual accounts. They've only gotten maybe 5 people's account. They haven't gotten all 25 people's account.
They all have.
And we also have to take into consideration this did go to criminal court. So if I was going for a money grab, why would I ever go to criminal court in the first place?
But here's hold on a second. But here's the great. I'm so glad you brought that up because, and I wish I should call her in there because she would totally get on this. But she said that as far as criminality and stuff, it is super easy. They went after something super easy on him.
Indict.
Right. Super.
You can indict a ham sandwich. Rook said it last night because Rook's a lawyer as well.
That's a line from fucking Tone Diggs from McAfee Show.
Is it? Oh.
He said the same fucking thing. They would this court would indict a ham sandwich if they could, and
they
didn't.
But it's the truth.
Apparently that's a common lawyer phrase.
Right.
Okay.
But there was nothing.
So here's my problem, right?
Good.
Here's my problem. You and me are in a room, right, Coop?
Yeah.
Based on my position or my build, let's say I'm a big guy, right? And I coerce you into doing something you don't want to do. I don't use violence, but you imagine that there could be a threat of violence in the air simply because I'm bigger than you, which I'm not. But let's say I was, right?
Uh-huh.
You perform the task, and then you realize, I just totally got taken advantage of, right?
Uh-huh.
If you were to file a complaint against me, it would just be your word versus mine. I didn't physically force you.
That's true. But here, let me.
And it would be hard. And then also, I just want to take into account, and people will sit there and say that's not true. It doesn't work that way. But we're talking about the state of Texas here, where football is God, and they let 11 kids from high schools rob neighborhoods back in the 80s. It was cool until it got to 60-something stores that had been robbed, and then they all had to go to jail. So, the fact that it's Texas, I'm oh, it's a football player in Texas. They ain't gonna get nothing wrong. Michael Irvin got arrested 65 times in Texas, and no charges were filed as long as he won Super Bowls.
Neck in a barbershop and got away with it.
Okay, so that's all fair, and okay, so I see where you're heading there because I'm wondering what is okay. So I see where you're at. Let me say this though. I mean, again, I'll go back to my earlier big, broad, dumb statement, right? But it's true. Men have been coercing women since way back when, and they're doing it now. They're doing it as we speak throughout the entire universe. That's just the way the world works. Not even just men and women, but men to men, women to women. People use coercion all the time. I don't know, and I have not seen anything about being coerced because they felt threatened in any way. It was more coercion that, I'm Deshaun Watson. That was what I understood it as. I did not understand it as this guy's bigger than me. Nick, let's be real, homie.
No, I'm just saying it's in general. No matter what happened, a lot of people are harping on the fact that it was nonviolent. I'm just saying it doesn't have to be violent for me to make you do something you don't want to do.
Yeah, but of course, but you're saying, but what you're saying and what really probably happened are two different things. Coercion.
No, I'm just saying is as far as indicting him criminally.
Oh, okay, I got you.
You wouldn't be able to. It would just basically be me going, I didn't feel good about that. You being he didn't have a problem with it, and I also like to keep in mind that lawyers want to win cases, and they're not going to put their best foot forward on a case they know they can't win. So the whole well, we could indict him, but then you have to be the lawyer to go to trial and lose. Are you really going to put the best freaking face forward in that indictment?
So there's a whole. You just say there's a whole lot to unpack there. Let me just say this: lawyers, if a case like this, if I didn't feel like I could win it, I'll take it anyway. Because guess what? My name's out here now. You gonna see me? How about I forgot his name. It's not helping my point. Jose Baez. There it is. He was Casey Anthony's lawyer, right? Who the hell? Why would I know who Jose Baez is? What has he done? Nothing. But I know because he was Casey Anthony's lawyer. So
Well, we know defense attorneys. We don't know prosecutors.
I'm just throwing, like I said, I'm just throwing this out there. So if I want to take a case that even though I don't feel like I could win, I'm sure the hell going to take it anyway because I'm going to get my name. My name's getting out there, period.
Yeah, but you're going to be the name out there the guy that lost.
Doesn't matter.
It totally does.
I hate to say this to bring up politics, but I think Trump proved that whatever the news is, it doesn't matter as long as you're in it, period. So I think he proved that. It's been proven before. As long as you're in the news and long as your name's out there, it doesn't really matter what the result is, quite frankly. And you're defending Deshaun Watson, who right now, honestly, is just not the greatest case to take because look at the.
I'm not talking about the defense attorney. I'm talking about the prosecutor.
Jared was in the chat when I made the comment. I got like rolled over by 1,000 people because I make one comment and everyone's getting all fired up.
I almost had to pull executive and just go like, guys, moving. I was waiting for Dan or Mike or Blaine to say something before I said. I was like, guys, come on, move this to the waterproof. Like, guys, this is not appropriate for the main chat.
So overzealous prosecutor. So let me get back to that. So I mean, are you telling me though that a prosecutor hasn't been overzealous in our history of criminal history though? I mean,
I'm saying that if Derek Jeter murdered the mayor of New York City in Times Square, the prosecutor in New York would think twice about prosecuting.
It's human emotion. I mean,
Derek Jeter. This is New York. Yeah, absolutely. And if a quarterback in football in Texas does anything illegal, the prosecutor in that neighborhood is going to think twice about prosecuting.
Well, either way.
Because their fans will be outside his house with pitchforks waiting to kill him for ruining the season.
Either way, from what I've seen, there's nothing there. And you all, to your credit, have said that you haven't seen anything else either. So if neither of us have seen anything else from what we've seen, like I said, I'll say it again. Again, it just seems like a big money grab to me at the end of the day. Deshaun Watson.
I agree with you in that case, except I think that there's got to be at least one telling the truth. It's just too many. It's just too many.
I agree, but like I said, what are they telling the truth about? That's what I
don't know.
Well, if they showed us all of their fucking testimonies, then we can make an educated decision. The problem is they're holding all of them in closed doors. So we'll like some of us may never know. And that's what's so fucked about this whole situation. Everything's so murky, cloudy, and cloak and dagger that Judge Robinson, in where the position she was put in, had to make a choice, and she went on precedent, which is what the law basically tells you to do. So she made the correct ruling, unfortunately.
Jared, I've been sitting here going, Jared looks really familiar. Who does he look like? Because I'm a big, like, who does this person look like kind of guy.
Yeah.
And I've decided that you look like an older AJ Soprano.
Hey, listen, I used to get out of shape Chris Pratt a lot. That was my favorite one.
I didn't say that. I said older. AJ didn't have a good beard. You got a good beard. I'm going to go older AJ Soprano. It's okay. I like Murph from Impractical Jokers. They canceled my show. My uncle shot me a text message the other day. He goes, they canceled your show.
They canceled Impractical Jokers?
Yeah, well, everybody just quit the show. They didn't cancel the show. Everybody was like,
because didn't Joe leave? They were just like, yo, fuck this. We can't do it.
I mean, I guess the point is, like, at some point they sit down next to you and you're like, I'm on TV right now, aren't I? Like, it's not like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You're not fooling nobody. I know who the fuck you are. I've been watching you on TV for the last 10 years.
Right. I would pretend just to be on the show.
I mean, listen, like that.
They're from Staten Island. I'm glad I never ran into them. This shit would be awkward because me and Murr would be looking at each other like.
It's like the fucking Spider-Man meme.
Yeah. It was like when we went on your show, Coop.
Yeah, I remember. That was fun.
Your fucking younger doppelganger.
Yeah, it was Bizarro World for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, like Jason, first of all, man, we appreciate you having on for all the legal stuff. Tell your wife a shout out for helping us all legally with all this crap, because I sound a lot smarter now when I talk about this because everything y'all just said. If you will, listen, if you can't hang out or talk some more football for a little bit, if you got to go, you got to go.
What do you got? What's on the agenda? If
We're
it's college,
talking
I'm out.
Signings. Matt fucking slammed it with this freaking stuff. We got a kicker got a 4-year extension. We got your Dolphins getting nailed for draft picks, and we got some receivers and getting paid, and one going too fast off the field like he's on the field. So
did real quick before we even move forward, Coop, did you dress like that because he called you Florida man before in your tank tops?
It's funny that you say that because I thought about that because I did have a tank top on, but I usually now that our season 2 is in my new thing has been to dress up, so I'm like, let me just keep with my little thing and keep dressed up. So
okay, so
Coop, you look
season
great.
6 for me was the Coop, like for season 6 for us was the cowboy hat for me.
Right. See, there you go. That's like my thing this year. I'm gonna be all dressed up, and
I've been doing the Wayne's World since we started. Season 2. I've been wearing the hat of the show we're on.
You got to keep.
The best thing I heard pre-show was, I'm taking a leak around the corner of my house, and I'm hearing the freaking shimmy sha shimmy yay from the freaking keyboard, like he's playing in the background. I'm like, no.
But do you have the outfit completed with?
I was over here playing. I was playing 1,000 miles, and I was playing shimmy shimmy ya.
I heard that shit. I was like, let's go.
Hey, what'd you ask, Matt?
I was saying, do you have the outfit completed with the suit, or you got like the basketball cargo shorts on kind of thing?
Oh yeah, it's not even. Yeah, they're definitely basketball cargo.
Florida man game show host. I love it.
No underwear. It's just great.
Oh my god. Oh man. You know what, Cooper? You know what the craziest thing is? If it wasn't for me getting this job up here in Connecticut, I'd probably be living close to you in Florida. Which is
I
Coop.
know. It's funny.
I'm going to be in Orlando next week.
Are you for real?
I am going to go visit my parents.
Awesome. Well, make sure you hit me up before you head down. We'll definitely hook up for sure.
I head down Wednesday.
Nice. Well, it's funny because I used to have a nice job, and I actually quit it because my wife got a nice promotion, and I'm actually quit and started my own marketing company. So I was about to say, Jared, like if you did come down, I might have had a job for you. Who knows?
Hey, listen. I'm always open for a better opportunity. We'll talk.
Yeah. Well, listen, it's only like day 3, and it's a one-man crew right now. So
listen, listen, Jason. I'll still freelance help you, no question. So
Coop, call me in 10 years when I can retire from the Army.
Absolutely, I'm with you.
Yeah, Jared could do the show down south when it's like 85 degrees, and I'll be up here when it's like 23 in January. So
you kidding me, Matt? Listen, if the whole belly up thing really does end up blowing up, Matt, I'm moving you and B down here because I'm like not subjecting you guys to more winters.
I'll move down. We'll make it work.
Oh, yeah, it's a really hard thing to tell your fiance, hey, sweetheart, we're moving down south because we don't have to live in the fucking winters anymore.
It's an easy thing to do when you're making big money.
My ass is fucking Polish.
It's much easier.
Polish, Nordic, and fucking Irish, and Scottish, and Italian. I'm used to cold weather, not the Italian part. That's my soft part. But
that's the AJ Sopranos part.
Relax. Listen, when my hair was long, when I had the beard growing out to here, man, one dude walked with me in the gym. My hair used to be down to here, like upper chest. And a guy walks up and he goes, "So when's the raid?" I'm like, really? Do I?
Oh yeah, that was when you had hair down to your shoulders and the beard went down to like mid chest sternum area.
I literally looked like out of shape Opie from Sons of Anarchy.
See, I
can bust my ass. So when I come grow my hair out again, I'm probably gonna go like hockey player length, like just shoulder length, because I missed that hair. Once it got past, I got fucking annoying. But like, I missed that. But the thing was, I was so fucking fat when my hair was long, so all the jokes were there. I'm actually in the best shape of my life because I've been actually really following a strict diet at work. You know, of only drinking, the only carbs I drink post 4 o'clock are beer and cigars. So, but
cigars aren't carbs.
No, I'm joking.
Matter of fact, cigars are a metabolic enhancer.
Damn straight. Nicotine. There
you go, a little science for you guys right there. Cigarettes and tobacco of all type are metabolic enhancers. They make your metabolism go up.
Fancy.
No, they also crush your hunger.
Which is why people who stop smoking gain weight.
I noticed that a buddy of mine been off. He stopped smoking bones about 3 months ago. He's put on 20 pounds already. The fucking kid just doesn't stop eating.
By the way, Matt, I just want to tell you, fuck you and your great beard and your awesome hair.
Thank you. I'm also a Jets fan. So
awesome hair.
He's a Jets Yankees fan. I figured, Nick, you'd love that.
He's like a TikTok.
I love that, but at the same time, he's fucking handsome and shit, walking around with a good head of hair and a beard, and I'm over here looking like fucking chewed up fucking bubble gum and shit.
Hey, listen, I got a receding
like
hairline.
Fucking Wish.com version of fucking Murph and Practical Jokers.
Listen, I'm starting to question things, Nick. I mean, you know, you're talking about me and you in a room, talking about you coercing me. Now you're talking about how good looking Matt is. Like,
listen, Coop, I'm one of those guys, and you could ask Rook and you can ask TJ. I build my people up. All right.
like that. I like that.
Where women sit there and call each other bitch and like, oh, that looks fat. I talk to Rook, I talk to TJ every day, and the first thing I say to them most days is, "What's going on, handsome?"
I need you.
Build them up. Make them
I
feel good.
I respect that. I really do. I will say this though. The only thing I was gonna make a joke right now about about Antonio Brown doing 120. No, sorry, wrong Brown getting
Hollywood Brown.
Hollywood Brown doing 120 and speeding and something with Matt. Oh, I said I gave Matt the keys to the social media for all of Korner Booth. Dude's been driving it like a Lambo on the Autobahn. Speaking of speeding, Hollywood Brown getting busted for doing 120.
He was trying
There's a stupid reason to get arrested.
Listen, if you're telling, if somebody says you're gonna get arrested, you may not even get charged for a misdemeanor. I'm like, I want to be just fucking whipping on the fucking car. Just absolutely fucking hauling ass in a rental. Just like get me busted for that shit.
I'll tell you this right now. I saw the comment. I didn't follow the Ravens last year. I didn't really follow the Cardinals too much last year. I don't know too much about Hollywood Brown. But goddamn, if the comments on Twitter weren't like, throw that thug in jail for life, what did he do? Can somebody tell me?
He just did 120 on the highway and a cop pulled him over.
Has he done anything else?
No.
Like, I thought maybe he had a history of doing.
He's Antonio Brown's cousin. That's his worst offense. That's his only other problem.
I will say, from somebody who speeds a lot, this is like a non-story, but I will just say, as an athlete, though, like, why don't you have somebody just drive you everywhere, bro? Like, you know what I'm saying? He's making that money.
He was like, I think he was sober when he got busted for it. He was just fucking flying.
It's just
what's crazy?
I drive fast all the time. So, I mean, I could totally see that.
Also, people on Twitter are the fucking worst. Can we talk about that for a second? Like, just like, throw him fucking jail. He's fucking speeding. I guarantee you were speeding once in your minivan too, Karen. Jesus
the person
Christ.
commenting
I'll tell you,
also probably going 95 on the highway too while texting.
In their Nissan Quest,
while driving, right?
Talking about Coop, talking about using having a driver. I agree wholeheartedly, especially with the guys that get busted for DWI. Like,
yeah, that's big time. Yeah,
I'm just sitting there like I remember when Henry Ruggs got busted. I went on a fucking tirade. But I remember I was at that Top Golf like 3 months prior on a bachelor party, and I was shit faced. And you know what I did? I got in a fucking Uber because Uber's lined up right there.
Right.
And like it just didn't make sense. So like if you're in the NFL, like, and you know what, it goes back to the Deshaun Watson situation where they're talking about like he didn't do anything wrong. Why are we suspending him? And I'm a firm believer, like if you're a famous person, you need to insulate yourself from all of these predators on the outside. And if it means making an example of somebody to make sure that everybody else knows, stay the fuck home because it's dangerous out there. And you'll catch mono like Sam Darnold, or you get accused of sexual assault like many other guys have, or your buddy's going to murder somebody like Ray Lewis. Yeah, stay home. Have a party in your house.
Hit it on somebody's mom. Shout out Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson, listen, he was staying home. That was the problem, all right?
Yeah.
Hunter Wilson.
Were coming to him.
His mom had book club or bunko or some shit. All the girls came over. And
what do they do out in fucking Utah? Because they don't drink out there. So Jesus, they must have
had to be book club.
Probably that's all they got to do.
Bunko, bridge. They play bridge. I don't know.
Come over on book club night and go try and sleep with the sun.
Yeah.
Just to piggyback your point though, real quick. Not for nothing. If Ruggs ain't a wake up call to every young NFL player out there to be like,
if it ain't called any person out there,
your life could be over. So
I'll tell you this right now. I will never forgive Kadarius Toney for defending him. I won't.
I don't remember
he said, "Oh, it's goofy. You guys don't know the situation. I'm sure he feels bad. Let's just pray for both families." I'm like, he feels bad. I'll tell you this right now. If I accidentally murdered somebody, I would just go straight to jail. I wouldn't try to defend myself.
Right.
I would just go straight to jail. That's feeling bad. But I knew for a fact because they took pictures of him sitting on the curb and everybody's like, look how sad he feels. He feels sad for himself. He don't give a shit that he killed somebody just now. And keep in mind,
feels bad about
his
it now.
child's mother was sitting next to him. He'd have killed the both of them.
Also, mind you, he was fucking wasted, obviously. So let's not forget that fact.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, Kadarius Toney sat there and defended it, and he turned off the comments too, so nobody could tweet back at him because he knew he was in. And for me, you know what that tells me? When you defend somebody who breaks the law blatantly, you're planning on fucking up too.
Well, I think Well, it might be his boy. I mean, I don't know the relate. Maybe it's his boy. Like,
Listen,
you know,
if it's my boy, I know my boy. If my boy's fucked up, I know my boy's fucked up. I'm not going to sit there and defend it.
But we're not all Nick. We don't all build everyone up. We don't all, you know what I mean? Not everyone's Nick, you know. So to be fair, I mean, you know, I totally feel what you're saying. Don't get me wrong. I just feel like, you know, again, he might have just been like, yeah, that's my boy. And because at the same time, like everyone was, I remember when it happened, everyone was piling in on him. So maybe he was just trying to be like that voice of, yo, you know, that's my boy, and he feels fucking horrible right now, and just chill out. Maybe he didn't say it the right way, and, you know, whatever. But
I read it as everybody needs to be, you know, I think of the episode of The Office, The Whistleblower, if you ever watch The Office.
Yeah.
When Joe explains, like, if you talk to your people and they say throw the hammer of justice at them, it means that they're innocent, because a innocent mind doesn't need mercy. If they sit there and say, well, you never knew what they were thinking, you know, you don't know, then they're guilty because they don't want the circumstances to be too hard on themselves. So for me, when somebody blatantly breaks the law, like, I'm sorry, Henry Ruggs is completely like, how do you defend that? You can't defend that. Yeah, if you're going to get caught in that situation, to me, it's like, by defending him, you're basically thinking, oh shit, that could be me. And I don't want everybody to crucify me when it's my turn. So let me defend him now. And I'll tell you, I'm doing it right now. My buddy's fucking up at work right now, and I'm defending him like no other. Why? Because honestly, it's not really that he's fucking up. It's that the system's not helping him. And I'm like, in 10 years, that could be me all fucked up, the system not helping me, and I'm going to wish somebody would stand up for me. But at the same time, he's fucked up because of work, you know? Like, it's not his fault. He's fucked up because of work. And the system's fucking him, and I'm standing in the middle like, I'm not going to let the system get that bad. I'm not. You know, I'm gonna try to assist, because one day I could be fucked up because of my job. You know, like these football players get CTE, and they're all fucked up. Yeah, defend that guy, because the league is what made him fucked up. Yeah. But like, you're right. Football players should not drive. Get a fucking driver. The league has drivers for you.
With Tony also has been kind of. Can we also talk about the fact Kadarius Toney since he's been drafted by the Giants has been nothing but just like, all I hear about is him trying to start his rap career. The thing with fucking trying to defend Ruggs. And the fact that his only one game was just lighting up the league's worst man-to-man cover corner in Trayvon Diggs. And the fact is, I love Giants fans trying to defend the fact that it's like, oh, we got a better receiver than the Eagles because we got Kadarius Toney, who's just as good as Devontae Smith. I'm like, no, he's not. Devontae Smith goes home every night. Does Devontae Smith put on 20 pounds of fucking muscle in the offseason and got like all of his arms covered in tattoos and got a visor? That motherfucker looks scary now. And I'm just like,
real quick, am I the only one? Visors for everybody?
Visors for every, like, listen, I was an old lineman who tried to cop a visor, and like my coach was like, why do you have a visor on? I'm like, because I want to.
Because I'm a bad motherfucker. That's why. Look professional, you'll be professional.
I mean, I was not professional. One dude tried to take my bad knee out during a varsity game. I literally like tried to step on his crotch while I was running by him.
Ndama Kung Su did that. Guess what? Professional.
He's a future Hall of Famer. I'm following him in the footsteps of greatness. Oh my God! Speaking of great, let's talk
speaking of Hall of Famers, let's get on to America's team, because then I got to take off. But I wanted to talk about America's team first before I left, since you know that's all.
Hold on, Coop. You can't leave till you talk about Dolphins.
We got to talk about
America's team. That's what I'm here to
talk about. You're talking about Cowboys, dude.
Is this team in Miami? Like,
it's the Miami Dolphins, you know.
Prison U?
So listen, I'm going to say this real quick.
Hey.
Let me say this. Let's, oh my God.
Get out of here. No, I want to mute this guy right now because that fucking.
Oh my God. I think he just wanted to say that, just to say it.
Well, he's got that hat. That is fucking ugly. That is ugly. Makes me even more bald.
Yeah. All right, listen, I'm going to say this real quick, all right?
There's his body double?
I want to say thank you to Stephen Ross, actually. And I'm going to say, because we went so many years with the ownership just not really trying to win. And I'm happy that Stephen Ross tried to go out there and she tried to put a winner together. And if you're going to tell me that every other owner, since going back to my argument since the beginning of time, but since football has started, I'm sure, and even now, owners do plenty of shady shit. And I'm sorry, one first round pick next year and another one, a third round and whatever, no one gives a shit.
What if that first rounder's 2 is replacement?
This team is prime for the Super Bowl, baby.
Jesus.
Oh, that quarterback.
That's what you guys keep saying. That's what I keep hearing. But I'm going to say this. I could quarterback this team, and we'll go to Super Bowl. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, bro, it just takes a flick, and they're gone. We're going to be just fine. And we got a nice power running game this year. Don't get me started.
I think Tyreek's going to have a good season. The problem is that their offense structurally just doesn't make sense to me because, like, both those guys do their best work in between the 20 and the line of scrimmage, and then they run afterward. Like, you packed 8 guys in the box. Everyone's down low. Everyone's playing bump and run. You got a safety helping over Tyreek. And Tua's getting chased by whatever. Okay, what's their tackle situation look like, Mr. Cooper?
You saw they brought in Armstead from the Saints, so that was obviously the anchor of this line. And they brought in Sony Michel. They brought in Chase Edmonds. We brought in some hammers, not to say one of those guys is going to be the end-all, be-all, but we brought in enough to platoon this running game into kind of a Niners East, if you will. So they're going to run the football. There ain't going to be no stack. You don't stack the box. I can tell you that right now. I mean, it's basically going to be wide open for this team and nice running lanes for Waddle and Hill. So, like I said, I really like the Dolphins' chances. Getting back to the situation, though, Stephen Ross, good job, bro. Thank you for trying to make a winner. I'm good with it.
What's your depth look like? I honestly don't know what the Dolphins' depth looks like at wide receiver. What's their depth look like?
So we got.
I like the Cedric Wilson acquisition. That was cool.
Yeah,
they got a good rookie that like too.
The problem I have with Cedric Wilson, though, is just he's so injury prone. Like, I don't know how much I can count on him, but that's why I'm not really like. It's kind of like a whatever for me with him. You know. Again, it's more about the speed for the Dolphins receivers, regardless. So I'm not really. So if you're talking about depth, in case like the worst end all be all of Hill, Waddle both get hurt, yeah, maybe Cedric Wilson will step. I mean, now, but if we're gonna do that, then let's go to every team and say, okay, well, what if what if Kareem Hunt and Chubb go down for the Browns?
It's Dearness Johnson.
So here's the deal: if the Browns fucking suck without Deshaun Watson, let's put that out there right now. All right, without Deshaun Watson, their team is trash. All right. But let's talk about good teams. Let's talk about like the Chiefs, for instance. Right, the Chiefs got a good team. If one of their wide receivers goes down, their quarterback is still.
Well, that's good. We're gonna find out. We're gonna find out. I mean, I think
if one of your receivers goes down, your quarterback is still Tua. Imaginary N. That's not in his name. Go Viloa.
See, Jason, the thing is, I'm a big you know me, I love watching film on him. I tried to like Tua by watching 3.5 fucking hours on film. I did it sober to make sure I didn't miss anything. Usually I have a few beers while I'm watching film. I could not figure out what these Alabama fans are telling me. I can't, like, Kevin will slam into my skull about how much he loves Tua. And I'm like, I don't fucking see it. To me, he's a solid game manager with a decent arm and a good accuracy. With good weapons, he might win where I think they will win, which is 10 games this year. The Jets will win 9. The Patriots are going to win like 7, and the Bills will smoke everybody because they're the best team in football. But
first of all, let's be fair to Tua. All right, the kid went through what amounted to, and I had the doc on really talking about this, a freaking car accident in college. I mean, that's what he went through with that injury. Comes into an NFL season. Don't forget, guys, it was COVID. So there was no off season. It was crazy. Walks into the weirdest situation where nobody believes in him, obviously. So I feel what you're saying. Like, I get it because like last year, I was always that guy, just kept backing Tua. And last year, particularly the Tennessee game, I just was like, bro, like just you functionally, I just don't see how you have it. Like you just can't put your body in a situation where you can throw the football. But I think what it really was and amounted to was that Tua is trying to be a perfectionist. He doesn't want to make the big mistake. He doesn't want to let it fly. Well, now I'm hoping, and this is my hope, that the coaching staff instills in him enough confidence to say, listen, when you're in trouble, you see this guy out here, just fling that motherfucker down the field as far as you can and let him go get it. How many times we seen Patrick Mahomes do that? Oh, shit. Let me throw it as far as I can. Tyreek Hill gone. So, again, I think Tua unfortunately wasn't allowed a proper introduction to the NFL. So I'm going to give him, this is going to be my obviously point for him. If this season he doesn't show some improvement, obviously, it's definitely I'm out on him. And by the way, Jared, 10 games. Are you fucking serious? We won 9 last year with that garbage squad. I promise you, we're winning more than fucking.
No one, not some of the games y'all won last year though were like, how the fuck are they still scoring points?
How did we go 0-7 and lose to the Jaguars even? So
to be fair, 2 of your games were against the Jets, who were haphazardly bad last year with no wide receivers.
Okay, let's go through. We could go.
So if you won 9, if you split with the Jets this year, that's one less win.
Jason, I'm a realist for every team except one. So that's the way I look at it. I'm a cynic when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys. I always think they're going to go 0-17. So here's the thing with the I will let you, because I know you got to go. I know you got your show soon. I will say this quickly with the Dolphins. They're going to be a good team. And listen, I am not anti-Tua. I want Tua to be good. I don't root for anybody's lack of success unless you're a scumbag. Tua, I know people have met Tua in person when they went to Alabama. This is the nicest fucking kid in the world. And he's a good dude. I just want to see him do well. But the thing is, I'm not seeing it yet.
So is Sam Darnold, just so you know. He's a great guy.
Like I said, but Sam Darnold didn't go through a damn car accident before he came into the NFL and again came into the COVID season. So listen,
but being a nice guy and getting injured and then like having poor coaching, I mean, listen, you're right. He did go through a car accident, a big injury. But him having that injury doesn't make up for the fact that he's not performing at the level that he did before. Like I can't sit here and be like, oh, he went through an injury and therefore I got to give him a little extra leash. That's not how the league works.
Yeah, I think but okay, so this is his 3rd year. I mean, again, I don't have his stats here in front of me, so in comparison to other quarterbacks, but he isn't horrible. I'll say that.
He's maybe definitely in the middle tier, which is
to your point.
There's the 3 sections of NFL quarterbacks. He's definitely in the middle.
He's absolutely in the middle.
With the Dak Prescott, the Jalen Hurtses, the Derek Carrs. He's in that section.
But the problem is you can't be in the middle, number 1 pick overall.
Yeah, well, look, top. Well, we're not talking about that. We're talking about top 10 defense. We're talking about the Dolphins.
Well, no. I'm talking about like we're talking about contracts, right? If you're number 1 pick overall, when you're expected to get re-signed, you're not expected to take a cut in pay because you're a game manager as the number 1 pick overall.
Right. No, I get what you're saying. Again, though, I think this game manager. I think, like I said, let's revisit this during the season. And let's see if you're calling him a game manager then. And then we'll go
we'll be calling him the backup to Teddy Bridgewater then.
We'll see.
By the way, I love your backup.
I don't. So that's good.
You don't hold on. Your backup's Teddy Bridgewater, right? I'm not crazy, right?
Yeah.
Fucking great. Are you crazy?
Oh, again, going back to the nice guy thing. Yeah, he's a great guy, but QB wise, no, he's not going to take us next level, bro.
As a backup, he's exactly what you need.
Agreed.
As a backup, he's exactly what you need.
Agree. No, I agree with that. Definitely, I do not want to see Jacoby Brissett out there again, who looked like the cartoon version of Bill Cosby. I'm done looking at him.
Hey.
All right, Jason, my brother, we appreciate you coming on.
Appreciate you.
What's on the What's on the docket for the show now? What y'all talking?
We don't have a show actually. Wifey's one on me, get me off. But yeah, it's actually we're on tomorrow night, and we've had a dynasty draft with Ian Horowitz and Howard Bender, Roto Buzz NFL. We've basically been doing a dynasty draft. Dan's been on it. A couple other guys from Belly Up. So Friday night, we're going to grade the drafts. Mary Jane's going to come on. Wifey's going to come on. We're going to talk to Sean, talk Hollywood Brown, basically there's so much legal stuff. I said she's going to be real busy this year. The doctor's coming on too, talk about all the injuries, talk about stuff, people coming back. And then we might play a game or two. We'll see what's up.
Very nice. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you can find him at TSS Fantasy on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, everything.
Yeah. Oh, listen, by the way, before I forget, if you're watching right now, hit subscribe on our YouTube. Leroy Butler came by during our little summer tour. He left us a Hall of Fame jersey. It's signed. We want to give it back to you. Just hit subscribe. That's all you got to do. We're giving away this weekend. How easy is that?
Go hit subscribe. Wait, no,
hurry up, bro. Why? Hey, you ain't done it already?
Hey, Coop, I'll see you. I'll see you
we
next
are
week.
subscribed to you. Hold on, let me check. I'll go check after the show.
Coop, I'll see you next week.
Yes, sir. Yeah, make sure you hit me up, Nick. Absolutely.
I'll hit you up. I'm going to be the guy at Universal with my season pass,
Nice.
with a wand, like in Harry Potter.
We dropped our season passes. I had 4 kids, bro, and they literally never go. I was like, we're done.
Dude,
So
season
we go one
passes
night.
right now at MWR, $200 a piece
I mean, listen.
for the whole year.
We have SeaWorld and Disney, and that's why we took out Universal, because I'm like, bro, the kids don't go. We go for Halloween Horror Nights, and like, yeah, I'm not.
I would drop those fuckers off. If I lived in Orlando, I'd be like, you're going. Goodbye. And I'm leaving there. Like, fuck you.
They're too old now. I used to. Now they're too old. They're like, no, fuck you.
Get in the car. You're moving.
Like, no, I want to sit in my room all day and play video games. You know, that kind of shit. All right, guys. Appreciate you.
Jason, always a pleasure, brother.
Pleasure coming in. Appreciate you guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was
I told you, man. Thanks for having us on your show, Jason.
Listen, that man can. He's got. There's very few guys who will come on a show, and I will like. All right, I know he's going to take control, but honestly, I don't mind it. And that's what I love about this show. This show, yes, I am the host, but the whole point of the Korner Booth pregame is that it's a bunch of dudes sitting at a bar talking sports over.
I love Coop. I'm just breaking balls. I love Coop.
We all love Coop. That's the best part.
Listen, I want to hear more from my new friend Matt. I really do. I want to hear more from my new friend Matt and hear what he's got to say with his awesome beard and great locks.
All right. Well, what's the topic? What are we talking about?
We're talking Matt. We're talking about the deadline baseball, baby. Because listen,
deadline.
we'll speed run through football in 30 seconds. A kicker got $20 million. Congratulations, Chris Boswell. Debo finally got fucking paid.
Wait, who gave him that money?
What?
The kicker.
Chris Boswell.
Chris Boswell, Pittsburgh. He was the 4th most accurate kicker of all time right now. He's got an 80.
Well, they're going to be kicking a lot of field goals with Money Mitch at the quarterback this year.
I don't know if they're really going to be able to get that opportunity if Money Mitch is going to be. Well, I'm hearing right now that Kenny
Matt
Pickett's
Nagy may be the worst
overall,
offensive play caller of all time, besides like Adam Gase. But
I'm hearing Pickett.
Don't you don't say his name. You don't say Adam Gase. You don't say that. Okay.
Yeah, man,
His name is like fucking Voldemort. You don't say that.
So it's
He who will not be coaching.
Chip Kelly in Philadelphia.
What?
Chip Kelly in Philadelphia is like Voldemort, like to us. Like
No. Adam Gase is Voldemort to the world. Okay, that guy should.
Traded away Michael Vick and Deshaun Jackson because he thought they were too hood affiliated, and because Deshaun McCoy told him he wanted the ball more, he traded him for DeMarco Murray, a running back who did not fit our system, for Kiko fucking Alonso.
At least Kiko Alonso's a good coach. CJ Mosley's like, I'd rather stay at home than play football for you.
Oh, yeah, I know. I like dropping this fact that I technically know CJ Mosley's girlfriend because she literally is my aunt's neighbor.
Listen. We don't say Adam Gase, not in New York, all right? I got to whisper it, okay? We don't say Adam Gase.
Well,
All right.
I don't know if Nick. I don't know if you follow this guy on Twitter. Is NYJ? I think it's New York Jets Matt. Yeah.
Yeah, I do. We're simpatico.
So because Jared texted me one time, he said, "Yeah, now Adam Gase is coaching his high school football team." And I was like, "No, dude." I was like, "NYJ Matt on Twitter started that shit."
He made that up.
It picked up to this day. People are still talking about that. I'm like, dude, it's fake.
Everybody still says about how Adam Gase is coaching at Lincoln High School. Yeah. If you look up Lincoln High School and go to their people that work there, he is not one of them. Yeah. Adam Gase is staying at home. And God forbid he coaches his kids.
He's an advisor on an NFL team. I don't know what team it is. He's working. I've seen
he is.
I hope it's with Jamal Adams.
I mean, the world's most expensive outside linebacker?
I remember that rumor that they were interested in him in an offensive coordinator position. I was praying that was going to happen.
Oh my God! All right. Quick notes. Also, Deontay Johnson got paid 2 years, $36 million. I think it's a perfect contract for him because Deontay Johnson to me is not a top 10 receiver, but he's definitely top 20, top 30. So pay him like that, which is fine. Like he's not going to he's not going to take over a game like Metcalf, Samuel, Debo Samuel, or AJ Brown.
No,
or Elijah Moore is about to.
Oh yeah. This man's
listen,
one-handed snag.
This guy fucking ruined fucking contracts for wide receivers.
Fuck Kirk.
Yep, Kirk. Kirk fucking ruined contracts for wide receivers.
Jags organization. Doug Peterson's probably in his office like, how much you fucking pay him? God damn it.
Sheikh Khan is probably.
Is he even top 30? Can we talk about that? Is he even top 30?
I would put him top 40, but he's not even the
But
best.
he's getting paid top 5.
Okay, so here's the thing: is all right. So let's say like he's okay. If we take the best receivers of every team, he's the best on his team, right? But then there's about 7 or 8, 9, 10 teams that have a better number 2. So you go like, of course, you go like Cincy with Higgins, Philly with Devontae Smith, Miami with Jalen Waddle, what is it? LA with Allen Robinson. Then you go over to Oakland with Hunter Renfrow. Now you're starting to push him into almost the 40s at this point. So like you could keep going. There's some slot receivers. Like honestly, you give Quez Watkins one more year, I'll fucking take him over fucking.
I'll tell you this right now, and people can call blasphemy if they want. I hate T. Higgins.
I love him because I love his game.
I hate him because he's wearing 85, and that number should be retired. How dare he?
Oh, that does actually bug me.
The audacity. It'd be like going to the Yankees and asking for number 3.
Yeah. Or going to the fucking Eagles and asking for number 20.
Yeah.
Or the Ravens and asking for number 20.
Going to the Ravens, ask for 52. I'll wear 52. It's cool.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, there's a reason.
I'm sorry, Chad Johnson. First of all, I love Chad Johnson because he loves Zach Wilson. And he's just entertaining overall.
Chad Johnson is just so much fun.
How is his number not retired in fucking Cincinnati?
Because Paul Brown's a scumbag. The Bengals organizations are like they literally had to have McAfee start a petition to get them an indoor fucking practice facility. My favorite thing about all this is that with like there was I think it was Ajayi got offered 25 when he signed with the Eagles back in 2017. He goes, no, I'm not touching that number. 25 in the Eagles is not cursed, but it's a number you don't touch. Like Shady was robbed of a probably top 5 all-time running back career if he stayed in Philadelphia.
Wait, so Jared, are you an Eagles fan?
Die hard. Like,
so you're all about like throwing snowballs at Santa Claus and like verbally abusing people.
He had it coming.
He had it coming. Santa Claus had it coming. Okay.
Oh, he was wearing he had a Giants hat. He had a Giants logo on. No, listen, I'm a diehard Eagles fan. Listen, I love Philly sports because I love the fans of Philadelphia. I love the culture of Philadelphia sports. I'm only an Eagles fan. I do root for the Phillies if like my Diamondbacks aren't on. Can't stand the fucking Sixers.
How are you an Arizona Diamondbacks fan?
Hold
on, let's go time out real quick. You live in Connecticut. You root for the Eagles. You root for the Diamondbacks. You're all over the place, dude.
You have no fucking going on right now. That's not even the weirdest ones, man. College team. Minnesota Timberwolves.
What the fuck is going on?
Okay, so I grew up in a house where sports wasn't that big. My dad liked the Vikings, but I wasn't going to subject myself to that torture. Basketball, I loved Kevin Garnett growing up. That was my dog. So I rooted for his team, and when he left, I stuck with the Timberwolves through misery. Diamondbacks, Randy Johnson, my first baseball card, and I love snakes growing up. So that was a no-brainer. I did root for the Yankees when the Diamondbacks were not on because I had a lot of friends who were Yankees fans. I tried when I was a little kid rooting for the Red Sox, and it felt dirty and gross, and I said no because most of my family are Red Sox fans. But for me, I always love the Diamondbacks, and I always have loved them like rabidly. Like I literally just went and bought MLB.TV to watch the rest of their games this season, even though this is their setup season where half their prospects and players are younger than me. They have the youngest.
I can tell off the rip that you're not that old simply because when I was a kid, the Diamondbacks didn't exist.
Yeah, 1998. I know. I was 3 years old when they were formed. I'm 27.
I'm 35.
Yeah, I'm not that young. Everyone forgets.
I remember sitting there going, who the fuck is this new team, the Diamondbacks and the Tampa Bay Devil Rays? They both suck.
Damn, so you remember when like you had the Carolina Panthers and you had the Houston Texans and all those.
I remember playing Madden for the very first time. Hold on. I remember playing Madden for the very first time before the season the Texans became a thing. And I don't even think they had their jerseys loaded in the game back then.
The Jaguars
they had the logo. 90s, right? Say again?
The Jaguars came up in the 90s too, right?
They did, like 94, I think.
They were dominant in the 90s.
Jags,
crazy.
The Jags and the Panthers came up at about the same time.
Yeah.
And the Jags were really good when they first started. They had Tony Baselli. They had Mark Brunell. They had some good guys when they first kicked off. Yeah. And so did the Panthers had a good career, good to start. They had Jake Delhomme. They had Peppers, Steve Smith.
Foster, Steve Smith.
Mm-hmm.
They had some good players early on. They made it to the Super Bowl, but the Jags
that
have
was
been
03.
train wreck
I remember
ever since like
they beat
1999.
Philadelphia. I remember that was like my first playoff game I ever watched as a kid. It broke my heart, man.
And I just want to point out, Matt, you can agree because you and I are both Jets fans. Everybody kind of craps on the Jets. Like, oh, you haven't won a Super Bowl since 1960, the 68 season. The fucking Eagles just won a Super Bowl for the first time like the other day. But nobody sits there and complains about, oh, Eagles are a fucking joke. The Browns, any team that played in Cleveland, because these Browns aren't the old Browns, they've never like fucking made the AFC Championship game and won, like let alone fucking played in a Super Bowl and won. There's like a shit ton of teams that never won a Super Bowl. There's like 9 teams or 11 teams or something like that in the NFL that have never won a Super Bowl. But the Jets are the fucking clown prince for some reason.
No, I never make fun of the Jets fans for it because here's the thing. It's like, one, I have friends who are Jets fans. I also love Jets fans. I hate being in the same stands as them when I'm wasted. Me and Matt at a Jets-Eagles game, me trying to blackoutly fight an entire section of Jets fans.
Me also so drunk, I didn't even remember half the shit we did.
Yeah, me and Matt were so drunk, we don't remember the first quarter. My first memory was Ryan Fitzpatrick getting picked off by Eric Rowe in the end zone. That was my first memory of the game.
That's who Matt looks like. Fucking Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Yes.
Oh
he
man,
looks
I
like
should have worn my
20-year-old
Fitzmagic shirt. I have a Fitzmagic T-shirt. I should have wore it. Fuck. Oh,
next time Jabberjaw comes out,
it's fucking magic.
Oh my god, he is.
I've got the Fitzmagic shirt where it has the outline of just his beard and his hair. It's just like there's no face.
There it is. Yeah, no, I do. I root for the Jets when like I get a chance. Like I actually do. Like I think Jets fans are the saltiest people. I cannot stand Patriots fans. They're fucking annoying.
So it's funny. The Giants played the Patriots in the Super Bowl, and people were sitting there going, "So you're rooting for the Giants, right?" And I was like, "No." They're like, "You're rooting for the Patriots?" I said, "No, I hope the stadium collapses and everybody dies."
That's what I said.
And they go, "Why?" I go,
"Okay." The only time I ever rooted for the Giants was 2007 because fuck that undefeated season.
I'll say this: people ask me, like, "Why wouldn't you root for the Giants?" I said, "Oh, you're rooting for the Patriots." I go, "No, I'm not rooting for the Patriots." They go, "Well, why don't you root for the Giants?" I said, "Ask me how many Patriots fans I know." And they're like, "How many?" I'm like, "Maybe 1, maybe 2." Ask me how many obnoxious dickhead Giants fans that hate on the Jets every day I know. It's all of them. Okay? So the Giants fans that I know hated Eli Manning until they won in 2007. And then they were like, he's the greatest ever. Elite. Oh, my God. He's the best. He still fucking sucks dick. To this day, he's still not a good quarterback. The only thing he ever let in was turnovers, okay? The only reason he got drafted in the first round is because his last name is Manning. If his last name was fucking Smith, Eli Manning would have been drafted in the 5th round and been a backup his entire career.
So my favorite thing about all this is, like I said this back in March before Matt even joined the show. I said right now it is a better situation to be a Jets fan in New York than as a Giants fan. And a Giants fan on our show, JD, goes, "Why?" I'm like, well, 3 reasons. 1, I'd rather have Zach Wilson than Danny Fumbles. 2, I would rather have Garrett Wilson than Kadarius Young-Joka, Tony. And then on top of that, y'all actually have good drafting. I mean, yeah, the Giants had a good, like, Kayvon Thibodeau still, like, the drills I see him are fucking hysterical. But, like, Evan Neal got blown up by Quincy Roche. By the way, shout out Quincy. What up? But
it's the countdown till he ends up in jail.
That's fucked. That's fucked, man. Wait, didn't y'all just lose a fucking number 1 prospect to fucking Jackson State?
I'm all right with that. I couldn't give a shit less. At least the kid's not going to go to jail. I mean, between Brian Pata, fucking Ray Lewis, and like the 6 other guys you guys had that fucking Sean Taylor, you're either getting murdered by gangbangers or becoming gangbangers. There's one way or another.
I will say this about Miami: we've definitely the image is definitely we're getting back to the attitude we had in the early 2000s. But
fell in you?
No, that's the 80s.
It was 2002. Brian Pata got murdered.
I know Brian Pata when he shot.
Sean Taylor got murdered because he was a felon too.
My favorite part, the craziest thing was they finally caught Brian Pata's killer this year, which I was like,
did they? Holy shit!
It was one of their teammates. The dude, they were. It was something over it was a practice squad guy or like a 4th stringer. This guy got. It was something over like a girlfriend or money or something like that. It was something ridiculous. And when they brought up the story, because I remember watching the
Holy shit.
Miami. I picked Miami as a team. I wanted to go to I actually was supposed to go to LSU for college, but I missed the application day because I was a dipshit. So I ended up going to Southern Connecticut with this handsome devil below me over here. And then that's how I met Matt. I was supposed to be a Tigers fan. But then basically it turned into I never had a college team. I like rooted for players like Reggie Bush, Matt Leinart, and like Marcus Mariota, Michael James. So I kind of stayed in the Pac-12 because I like watching their games. They're fun. Then I watched the U Part 1. I was like, oh, this is fucking lit. I played like this in high school. I was fucking getting in late penalties and slamming dudes to the ground for the whistle.
And doing cocaine and fucking getting thrown in jail.
Listen, I went to a high school that was known for getting prescription drugs, weed, and heroin, not fucking cocaine. I went to a rich rural high school. Okay, it was half Hicks, half rich people. I was part
rich
of the
people can afford coke.
Yeah, no, but they didn't do coke in Southbury. They did fucking heroin, which is scary. But no, then I watched the U Part 2. A lot of the players I loved growing up, Ed Reed, Ray Lewis. I actually have a 96 Ray Lewis throwback in my freaking closet.
Does it have any blood on it?
No. No, it's from the Florida State running back. He basically massacred in the hole. I will say this though, I started rooting for Miami a lot, and then I always hated Florida State because I fucking hated that chant because we had it for Pop Warner because we were the Warriors. We had a Seminole logo.
My high school was the Warriors.
Yeah,
and we had a Native American hat. At one point, we had a spear and stuff like that. That's how
spear. We had the.
I ended up being. I'm a Florida State fan because my coach was a Florida State fan, and he always talked about it. I played cornerback. Who's the best cornerback ever?
Prime.
And where did he go to college?
FSU, baby.
Right?
Listen, I loved playing.
And little known fact about Florida State: they are one of 2 Division I schools that have a circus.
Listen, just because all the Tallahassee is making a circus.
Listen. I could have went to college there because I'm poor, and gone to and been a part of the. You want to run away from home and join the circus? Fuck it, get a college education while you're at it.
My biggest thing was at Miami was my tuition at Southern in total was as much as a year and a half at Miami. That's why I went to Southern. Because Miami, unfortunately, they start Miami in the 80s and 90s. They did it to kind of be a school for the people of the state of Florida, southern state of Florida and everything else. And then their president has always tried to make it the Harvard of the South, even though it's never had that reputation. It's for rich girls from Jersey. And fucking listen,
it's the Leavenworth of the South, if you ask me.
Ooh, that's hurt. Oh, listen, my mom's from the Wayne Patterson area. That's hurtful.
Felling you, bro.
You know what's so funny now? We actually have less arrests than 7 SEC teams, 5 Big 12 teams, and the entire Pac-12.
Well, you're also not winning either, so I mean,
we're gonna be ranked.
You can correlate those two, just so.
Listen. Old Mikey Norvell's got a nice hurricane coming his way. Listen, you guys cost me a $500 parlay last year when you guys beat us. I was so mad. I got blackout drunk that night. But I will say this. Listen, FSU gate. I'm listen, it's not a rivalry. They don't win for a couple of years. They did that to us. They had to win again. We had to keep the rivalry up again. I want FSU to be good because,
by the way,
it seems to fucking mean something.
All of Florida football these days is pretty trash.
Hey, listen, I think FSU and Miami are on the rise. I think Florida's fucked, though, if we're being dead honest. You talk to our boy Kevin, he's at all SEC. He went to fucking Alabama. His boy Cruz went to Alabama. They've got boys who went to Auburn, LSU, everything else. I seriously think Florida's fucked because they're going
to lose to Alabama and LSU.
Emory Jones is a good quarterback. Not Emory Jones, Anthony Johnson. He's okay. I watched him against Ohio. Oh, was it Ohio State or Alabama? There was a one score game. It was not. It was horrible.
No, not Johnson. His name's not Johnson.
Whatever.
Robinson. It's Robinson.
Yeah, Robinson, yeah.
Because he just changed it for they used to call him AR-15, and he was like, "Don't call me that anymore. I don't want to be associated with guns."
Even though AR-15s are the most fun gun to shoot at the target range.
Well, I mean, that gun also defended freedom for the last 60 years, but
yeah, the gun it looks like.
I mean, I've been using fucking a version of an AR-15 my 15-year career in the military.
You're referring to an M4, right?
M4, M16s, they're all based off the AR-15.
Yeah, it's so I try to explain this to somebody once. An AR-15 is not an actual. It's a gun. It's like a gun mold. It's a type of weapon. It's not. It doesn't stand for assault rifle 15. It stands for armor light.
Armalite is the country is the company that made it.
Yeah, it's the company that made the original, like
originally, and then they got bought out by Colt.
And then you also have like Smith and Wesson makes their version. And then you have like what was it, Stag Arms. That was their offshoot of it. Made a couple other ones. Like it's
ours are Colt.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. My buddy, he's
I'm pretty sure his name is Anthony Robinson.
Mm-hmm. Anthony Robinson. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, college football's gonna be fucking weird this year. Let's be honest. Ohio State and Alabama are gonna steamroll everybody. It's a matter of fact of who the last two spots are.
I honestly, in college football, they should just get rid of all the conferences. Just get rid of it. I'm tired of it. I really am. When you hear about fucking Cal and fucking USC or UCLA and USC going to the Big 12 or Big 10 or wherever the fuck they went, and there's 30 teams called Big 12, Big 10, Big 15, Big 11, like, stop it. Just stop it all. Like,
I did enjoy
everybody. I've even heard that Florida State and like Miami and Virginia Tech or Virginia want to go to fucking the SEC. So it's like just everybody in the SEC at that point.
They're locked in with the ESPN and the ACC for another 7 years. Which
listen, I don't have a problem with it. As a NCAA needs to get rid of the conferences. They don't help anything. Make them divisions. And they're geographically located, just like every other sport in the world, for the most part, other than the NFL, where the Dallas Cowboys are so inexplicably in the East.
Always bugged me. And also was the other one. The Tennessee Titans are in the AFC Central, or in the AFC North, or they're in the AFC South.
They're in the South.
South, but the Colts are in the AFC South. That makes no fucking sense.
Yeah.
Indianapolis is farther north than some teams that are in the NFC North, AFC North too. It makes no fucking sense to me.
Well, you got Miami in the AFC East, and they're all the way down south.
True, but they are east.
They are the most
east. They are east.
The farthest. Technically, they are the farthest east of any team in the NFL.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
They still suck.
It's like Boston's.
But they still suck. I like it, Matt. Thanks.
And like Foxborough's here, and then fucking Miami's out here.
I can't figure out who in their right mind was like. Everybody else is like a fucking dolphin. Everybody else is an eagle or a lion or a fucking tiger or a fucking bear. We'll be the dolphins.
Listen, the dolphins also, by the way, are like the most homicidal assholes in the ocean. They literally will bully things to death. It's actually kind of scary.
I don't know. If I saw a fin coming at me in the ocean, and initially I was like, "Oh my god, it's a shark," and then I found out it was a dolphin, I'd be like, "Oh, thank God, it's a dolphin." I've never wanted to swim with a shark. I've pondered swimming with a dolphin. Like, I'm not really something I'm into.
I've always wanted to go in a shark cage.
Yeah, that's white people.
Fucking terrify me.
Well, that's that white people shit. I'm more of a city white guy, and I'm not doing that.
That's one of those things where, like, you've never had to worry about somebody shooting at you in the street, so you jump out of planes and run down volcanoes and swim with sharks and shit.
You're that kind of guy.
Matt knows where I go on vacation every year. Like, it literally is a shark breeding ground.
Well, you're
South Africa.
Well, no, also Cape Cod, Martha's Vineyard area.
Ooh, Martha's Vineyard. Ooh,
right there.
Jared's the kind of guy where I'll hear some shit going down in the middle of the night. He's the one that gets up to go see what that like fucking creaking is down the hall, and it's a ghost or some shit.
My man's over here hanging out in fucking Falmouth and fucking.
By the way, Nick, I am not. I stick out like a sore thumb in Martha's Vineyard. I'm packing a lipper of Cope and like a fucking 6-pack of Busch.
He's out there. He's hanging out there watching fucking baseball over in Falmouth and Chatham and Wareham and whatnot.
Yo,
just living the dream.
Listen, I love the Vineyard is it's quiet. The bars are good, and rich girls are so much fun to talk to at the bar because they say it's like you're from the country. I'm like, yes, we are. I try to see if I can sing a little accent in there. I always have a couple pouches in my mouth. I'm always good with it.
My dad would really hate you. Let's go out.
Exactly. Winning
as he's probably chilling on the bench of his outdoor shower outside, drinking a Michelob Ultra that we had over there.
I haven't drinking a Michelob Ultra out there since we were out there, Matt. It's Miller Lite, my go-to Coors Banquet, and a bunch of IPAs that would probably knock me unconscious.
Champagne of beers.
Listen, High Life slaps. I did not like High Life until one of my boys, he started bringing it to my house for parties. I'm like, I gotta try one of these again. I've had one since college. Slam them back. I'm like, this is fucking great when it's ice cold. Let's go.
The Jets got me onto Rolling Rock. I was there for one of the draft parties, and it was
pretzel water, baby.
It was the $5 beer of the day, and I was like, it's better than Busch. I'll take it.
See, I drink Guinness all day.
Guinness I fuck with. I have about 4 or 5. Well, my birthday's St. Patrick's Day, so basically like Guinness and Jameson is what is given to me basically.
See, I'm a tequila guy.
What?
Like,
I'm a tequila
your mom
guy.
refused her breasts and gave you fucking Guinness and Jameson instead.
Damn straight. I'm so fucked up looking. Oh my god. Yeah, no, but the thing is, like, I'm a bourbon and IPA and like light beer guy, but it's like, you know, I definitely fuck with Guinness. Listen, a good Guinness. I don't care what fucking time of year it is. As long as it's not 1,000 degrees, I'll drink it.
Just give me
I'll
tequila or
drink
cognac. I'm happy with those two.
Yeah, Maddie loves his cognac.
I'm drinking scotch right now.
I have a nice double IPA waiting for me inside with my chicken that I'm about to cook up because I'm starving. And I still haven't showered from work yet. I knew I was going to sweat outside smoking a cigar, so I was like, fuck it. I might as well just not even shower until afterward.
We tried to get into baseball. Let's get into baseball real quick.
Yeah, we got a couple minutes. All right, let's talk baseball after we derailed ourselves. You're Yankees, Nick, you're a Yankees fan, right?
I am.
All right, good. Yeah, Yankees. I love the move you guys made. I'm actually kind of happy you didn't go after Juan Soto. You all can always go after me on this. I mean,
Yes.
I fucking hate that he's in my division now. Fucking kill me. But like, I love Benintendi. I love the reliever y'all got. It's not bad moves, and it's solid. It's just
They made
good.
one bad move, and the bad move was getting rid of Jordan Montgomery. Only because I'm a firm believer that you don't trade for damaged goods. And Harrison Bader ain't playing. He's not going to play. And they're sitting there saying, oh, well, he might come back in September. You really just traded a reliable 4th or 5th starter, right? And people say, well, he won't pitch in the playoffs. And that's fine. He won't pitch in the playoffs. I looked at the pitching rotation for the next 60 days, right? They've got roughly 60 games left.
Mm-hmm.
And so I looked at those numbers. They could lose 3 out of every 5 games for the next month and a half. They could lose. And you know what that means? It means they go 93 and like 59 or 69 or something like that. And you know what that means? It means they're not the number 1 seed in the AL. And now they got to go out to Houston if they even meet Houston. All right. And I'm not sitting here saying, and then on top of that, Jordan Montgomery had a rough last like month, roughly. Right. There's not that many wins, but that's because he'll give up 2 runs and the Yankees will score 1 over the course of the next of the first like 10 games of the season that he pitched in at least. They traded him away. He's basically Jameson Tyone, but left-handed and cheaper. And they traded him away. I don't understand it. And they got it for a guy that they hope can play this year. Yeah. Like, you're in a World Series contention year. And you traded away somebody that can help you get to the playoffs with a better record for somebody that you hope may play this year. And then the other craziness I heard was people were like, oh, they got him as a backup in case Judge leaves after the summer or after the fall, rather. In what world is Harrison Bader, who bats .250 and hits fucking 6 home runs a year, a replacement for Aaron Judge? It was madness. I had them with an A grade. I don't give anybody an A+. They had an A grade until they traded Jordan Montgomery because nobody in the Yankees world can explain how that makes sense other than the people that defend Cashman like he's Messiah. And they're like, oh, he's a plus, the best defender in the league. So fucking what? He can't play. He can't play. It's like the Browns trading for Deshaun Watson after being suspended. Who gives a shit? He could be the greatest quarterback in the history of the NFL. If you don't play this year, then he's not worth it to you this year. You get nothing.
Best stat.
Say that again.
Availability is the best stat.
I mean, the best ability is availability. All right, that's why Jacob deGrom's not the best pitcher this year. You know why? He didn't play half the fucking year. He'll be on the IL in 3 more weeks. Like,
either that or he because he opted out of his contract next year, he's going to be like the most durable pitcher in baseball once he leaves New York.
Well, the thing is that, like, Harrison Bader, when he's healthy, he's a fantastic defensive center fielder, but he's not healthy. And Jordan Montgomery is a solid pitcher. And you put him in St. Louis, he's probably going to be a great pitcher because it's a low market team. You don't get a lot of spotlight down there. He's probably going to go flourish down there. We're going to look like dumbasses. But I liked the moves they made until I saw that notification. I looked at that, honestly, for about 10 minutes. I was trying to make sense of it. I'm like, why? like, why? Like, he's homegrown talent and he's good. He's a reliable fourth guy for us. Like, he's probably only 4 because we had to bring up Herman because, Severino and everything. But, I'm looking at the moves that they're making. I honestly think the best move that they made was trading Joey Gallo. I think the best move that they made this entire offseason was not acquiring anybody. It was getting rid of Joey Gallo because that was just long overdue. There was supposed to be a guy that was going to come in and hit 30-something, 40 home runs for us. Probably wasn't going to have a high average, but he was going to hit bombs. This guy did not hit bombs.
He was supposed to do what Rizzo's doing.
Yeah. But Rizzo at least Rizzo also gets on base outside of hitting bombs. This guy was just pretty much was like, I swing for the fences and I strike out a lot. I have a low average. I'm not going to correct that, and that's who I am. I'm like, you're not going to survive. Boom, 3 months later, traded. That was the best move they could have made, I think, this offseason or this trade deadline.
Matt, I could not agree with you more. And what I really have been resenting lately, and Michael K addressed it yesterday, and a lot of people are hating on him for it today on the Twitters. There's a lot of people tweeting at him saying like it's unprofessional what he said. But basically, Michael K gave the lowdown, like, how dare Joey Gallo turn on the fans and say that the fans are the reason that he wasn't successful. The reason Joey Gallo wasn't successful is very simple. The beginning of the year started, he did an interview with Meredith Marakovitz in spring training. She asked him, what are you doing to limit the amount of times that you strike out? Because that's a big point of contention amongst fans. And he said, it's part of my game. Don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
So he basically said, I strike out a lot. Suck it. Deal with it. And we dealt with it. We booed him. And then he drives out this sob story crying about, I didn't leave my apartment. Nobody threatened his life. Roger Maris hit 61 fucking home runs for the New York Yankees, and people threatened to kill him. Nobody threatened Joey Gallo for batting 159 with fucking 3 home runs on the fucking season, with fucking 3 sack flies, or not even 1 sack fly in the last 500 plate appearances, because he refuses to change the way he hits. Okay? He was literally supposed to be like Rizzo. Rizzo's batting like 220. Gallo's career batting average before he got to the Yankees was 225. But his OPS was through the roof because he walked and hit a lot of home runs. Except that he didn't walk here. He didn't hit any home runs. He had fucking, 15 home runs in a year and a half? Or a full year, he hit 15 home runs. You can't bat 150 and hit 15 home runs. He is statistically the worst position hitter in the history of the New York Yankees. If for anybody who's listening who does not know, the New York Yankees have existed for 19 years. 119 years. There have been pitchers that have hit better than Joey Gallo, all right? Joey Gallo, his batting average as a person with 500 career at-bats or more is better than 2 people that ever played for the New York Yankees, and both of them are pitchers. Right? Joey Gallo absolutely sucked. And then he's going to put out this sob story about how we should feel bad for him because he didn't feel good about how he was playing. And we booed him. You were never meant for New York. You can't play in games that matter. Somebody said something along the lines of watch him be an all-star next year. You're right. If he plays for the Angels or the Rockies, he'll be an all-star because he can function or maybe the Athletics. He can function in an environment where nobody gives a shit what he does. He can do great there. Going from the Rangers, coming to the Yankees, yeah. Nobody in fucking Arlington or the Dallas area gives a shit about the fucking Texas Rangers. They're busy worrying about the Dallas Cowboys, okay? I would argue that the fucking fans of the Dallas Stars have more fans than the Texas Rangers. At least the Dallas Stars play in air conditioning. You know, like, yeah. I zero sympathy. Joey Gallo made $10 million to bat 159. I could have done that.
The Rangers honestly have a gorgeous ball. All right. Quick note before we get out of here because we are about 10 minutes over. What do y'all think about the Juan Soto trade to San Diego? Quick thoughts.
I mean, I think it's amazing for San Diego. I don't really think it was necessary for it to happen on the Nationals part. Like, the Nationals GM was actually the dartboard guy I was going to put on today. You got a guy who's 23. He's a sensational fucking guy. He's the next superstar for that team. He's under contract for 2 more years. You don't have to pay him. Just because he's rejecting his contract right now does not mean you have to trade him. This guy never requested a trade.
They panicked. They just panicked.
Yeah, they panicked, but they shipped this guy out. They get a great return. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I was confused. Like, you want Eric Hosmer. I like Luke Voigt. I don't know. I'm a homer kind of guy. I like Luke Voigt. But it just, for me, it's like, you got 2 years of control left on this guy. He's going to be the next great outfielder in the MLB. You don't have to trade him. You panic sold him. You could have just paid him whatever he wanted in 2024. The Nationals just had a World Series not too long ago. It's not like they're in like a terrible situation, but they panic sold, and all the GM did was just flash his ring in the press conference. Like, look at my World Series ring from 3 years ago. Nobody gives a fuck. That's my feeling.
Fair enough.
So Juan Soto, I mean, I think it's a great pickup by the Padres. They did with it. Prospects are just like the hope of hopefully getting better somewhere down the road, but never anything panned out. There's plenty of prospects that never panned out to be anybody in the world. As a Yankee fan, I can tell you right now, the Yankees have had a shit ton of prospects, and the only one that ever actually made anything of himself was Aaron Judge. And it's been it's been like 20 years since Derek Jeter was a prospect. So that was the last prospect before Aaron Judge that actually made himself to be what he was supposed to be, right? First pick in the first round, and he ends up being an all-star. That was Aaron Judge. Everybody before that was a draft pick, prospect, whatever you want to call it. They sucked. They just couldn't. He fucking drafted fucking Drew fucking Henson from the fucking Wolverines, who ended up playing in the NFL, The Nationals, I mean, ultimately, from what I heard, he didn't want to sign with them because they're selling the team. And he didn't know what the new owner was going to bring to the table, which I can respect and understand. You might get an owner like the Oakland A's, where you're the highest paid player on the team. Great. He's not investing in $1 more in anybody else, and you're just going to be mired in fucking mediocrity and subpar professional baseball play because you're the only guy on the team worth talking about.
The A's are an organization. The
A's and the Rays shouldn't exist. I'm sorry. The Rays are competitive, but their fan base and their stadium are a mockery of baseball. Their stadium is a disgusting piece of shit.
Give it to a city who wants them. And with the A's, it just sucks. Like I think I have it bad as a Diamondbacks fan. So I'm like, we've won a World Series already. We're doing okay for ourselves.
The A's haven't been to a World Series since 1988.
I think Eckersley was pitching for them back when they were in the World Series. Raleigh Fingers.
That was 83.
I think Reggie Jackson was on the team.
They won in 70-something.
Yeah. So my biggest thing was with the Soto trade. It sucks for any team who's in the NL West. The same time, it's also the Padres. They cannot put it together. They never will be able. You're also insinuating that you could have all the bats in the fucking world, won't win your World Series. You wouldn't got the best closer in baseball. Congratulations, you got to get to him. It's a beautiful thing about baseball. Make it of all the pieces in the world, but one guy's a bad inning, it could change your entire series. So I will say this: it's like before we get into we had to talk about 3 people who passed away. But I will say this that the Soto trade, honestly, for at least Juan Soto is great. I don't know if they're going to retain him past the second year. I think Soto might get sick because I think the Padres, this was like a last-ditch effort because their window's closing. Because I don't know if they're not going to be able to pay Machado past 2 or 3 years from now. They're not going to be able to pay Tatis all that money.
If the Navy and the Marines weren't in San Diego, they'd have no fans.
Exactly. But I will say this. First off, we got 3 people passed away in the sports world today. 2 that are actually directly, 1 indirectly. First off, rest in peace to the legend, the great, one of the greatest defenders in NBA history, and the only man who ever told Shaq while he was old as shit, "I'm still going to kick your ass." Bill Russell.
Was it 11 championship rings?
11 championships. You cannot.
No
suck it, LeBron.
Anything is going to
the greatest winner, the greatest winner of all time.
Yeah. People talk about LeBron being the greatest or MJ or just, even talk about Steph Curry getting up there. I was like, you know what? They all need another 6 to 9 more rings just to even get to Bill Russell's level.
Bill was a freak athlete. He just played the game in this way that everyone's like, oh, he didn't score a lot of points. He was also the best defender anybody else.
Bill Russell and Yogi Berra are in a class of their own. Double-digit fucking championships. It's crazy.
And they were just team guys. Another one is as much as I hate the fucking team he called games for, you can't talk baseball announcing without Vin Scully. I actually would look forward to hearing Diamondbacks Dodgers games in Chavez because I got to hear Vin Scully to call the game. And the way he called games, the way he talked sports, the way he told stories. When he retired in 2016, it was a sad day for all baseball fans, regardless of who you are as a fan. Me as the team who just despises and hates the very essence of the LA Dodgers was sad when he left. He's one of the greatest baseball commentators to ever walk this, sports commentators to ever walk this earth. So
67.
He's got one of those voices. as Yankee fans, it's like Mel Allen. Like I remember being a kid watching This Week in Baseball, and at the end of This Week in Baseball, hearing that, how about that? And that's Mel Allen. Mel that was his. Everybody's got the little sign off. That was his. Somebody did something crazy. Phil Rizzuto with Holy Cow. And when I was a kid, Phil Rizzuto was still announcing. And Vin Scully. I mean, I just watched Ken Burns Baseball, which was a PBS show about baseball, and they did it twice. They did it up to 1990, I believe it was 1992, and then they did it again up recently. Within the last 10 years, they did a follow up. It was the 10th inning they did, and he talks about Vin Scully. Vin Scully does an interview about Jackie Robinson, excuse me, and Vin Scully initially thinking that it wouldn't work, and then Vin Scully going, "Thank you, Jackie Robinson. You changed me as not only a baseball personality, but as a man." And first of all, very big of him to admit that. Whereas most people would probably pretend like, no, I was on board with it from day one. He's like, I didn't think it was going to work. And I was kind of against it because I didn't think it was going to work. And I was wrong. And I'm glad I was wrong. And God bless Vin Scully for being able to change. A lot of people can. And he did. And God bless him.
And last but not least, unfortunately, we mourn the loss of also Nicole Hazen. She is the wife of Diamondbacks general manager Mike Hazen, who is, of course, helping rebuild my crap hole organization. But she passed away from brain cancer this morning. I got the update from the Diamondbacks app, and it's it sucks losing. I can't even imagine what the Hazen family is going through right now. It's just battling through cancer is fucking awful, and I've lost friends to it. I've seen my friends with family members to it. It's brutal and it sucks. And thoughts and prayers go to the Hazen family as well as the Russell family and the Scully family as well. It sucks. It's an unfortunate way to end the show, but listen, TJ, man, Jesus fucking Christ, just shoot me off.
I'm more handsome than TJ.
I know you are. Nick, man, we appreciate you coming on. You can follow him right there. It's Jabberjaw right there on Twitter, and also the Scoreboard Axe Pod. You listen. You love our show. You love their fucking show. A little too much New York sports for me, but listen, that's where they're from. It's not their fault.
We don't sugarcoat. We put it up front with a focus on Northeast.
Yeah, listen, the God's asshole. Like I know.
That would be Florida.
No, that's the other part.
That'd be Tampa.
God's asshole is definitely New Jersey. Florida's God's dick, I guess.
God's asshole is where MetLife Stadium is.
Okay. All right. Listen, Nick, thank you so much for coming on today. Of course, you can find me and Matt.
Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
Yo, listen, Matt changed his fucking Twitter handle to Korner Booth Matt. I'm the happiest kid alive for it. I love this shit.
It's got a nice ring to it.
It does sound good.
I think I got to change Twitter. I got to figure out because I think that's the one app where you got to do it online, like on the computer. And now I got to figure out my password, and I don't even know what email I have linked to Twitter.
It's probably like a student email or some shit from like Southern from back in the day.
Yeah. So whatever my Twitter handle always is what it is. But you can find me at Korner Booth Matt on Instagram and TikTok right now.
There you go. You can find me at Belly Up Jared on basically fucking everything. And we appreciate you can check out Scoreboard Axe, releases every Wednesday night. They are always fucking hysterical, and you got to check them out. I've actually been offered to be on the show, but of course I lost power the one night. Rook tried to get me on, so I'm literally sitting out here waiting to start up, and my Wi-Fi doesn't go on. I'm supposed to be on with Matt before, and then Rook right after, and literally my fucking Wi-Fi wasn't turning on. I didn't get power back till 10:30 that night. It's fucking brutal. Either way, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you stopping by the Korner Booth Pod and the Korner Booth Pregame. We hope you have a great weekend. Please drink. If you're going to drink responsibly. Yes, please drink and drink responsibly.
Yeah, I was going to say please drink.
Take a drive. We will catch you on Tuesday. Me and Matt are going back to our regular schedule soon. Also, be on the lookout. We might be changing our live show. We might be going on a little later. It's NFL season time. We'll let you know. But we appreciate Nick for stopping by. Also for Jason Cooper for taking over the show for about 45 minutes because that's just that's what he does. We love it. All right, enjoy your weekend. We hope you all had a great time watching us tonight. Peace.